everything he knows about torture from the study of human texts. These books turned out to be cookbooks, basically making him a big green version of the dwarf from Dungeon Meshi. This is Pincushion, who got his name for obvious reasons. When his comrades don't feel like holding a knife or a war trophy, they'll simply stab it into the back of his flesh, knowing full well it'll be there when they go to check on him later. This is Warboss Wreck Havoc, spelled the way you think it is. He's never lost a hand-to-hand fight with his iconic bomber hammer, but he's also never fought one with it either. Despite this, he's confident that he can win 100% of the fights he wages with this weapon. Technically, he's correct. It appears that my loyal viewers have found some entertainment with my custom orc lore, and now the good people are yearning for more. Fortunately for you, more is a trademark of orcish physiology. More bodies, more violence, more Dakar. This is Kingpin, whose original warboss once bore a mighty iron crown. Kingpin decided to one-up him with a mighty crown of his own, and he can only assume the warboss killed himself out of shame for having the inferior headpiece. In reality, the crown made him blind and lost, and he ended up accidentally wandering into the wrong orc clan, which is why he never saw the warboss or anybody else ever again. This is Jumper, who's a staunch advocate for replacing the orcs' reliance on promethium with green energy, which of course is just regular promethium with little bits of orc ground into it, because orcs is the best, and make good fast juice go better. This is Warboss Wreck Havoc, who we met in the last video, but who we didn't meet was Todd. Todd is unusually creative for a Gretchen, and likes to fantasize about who his enemies are and what they might have been during their lives. This is of course moments before blasting them to pieces with the skull-mounted machine gun he's delightfully dubbed. That was not the face that I intended to open with. Unfortunately, this is just the goblin pose that I have to contort to in order to press the button that switches over the fucking things. The screens! That's the word. Hello, it's me, Ethan. What's poppin'? It's been a while. I've been a busy man. A busy boy, if you will. But that has nothing to do with what's happening here now. I'm back. I'm live. I'm on the internet. And I'm gonna paint some little figurines, because that's what I like to do, baby. That's me! Hello, Stygian. Hello, C. Hello, Jarell. What's poppin'? What's the haps, fam? It has been a good long while since I have gone live, and that is because I have been a very busy man. And a consequence of me being a very busy man is that I am sleepy and tired all the time. But you know what? That's not your concern. As far as you're concerned, I am just a weird little animal on the internet who dances like a monkey for your amusement. And if I fail to do that, then I'm just the worst. Fine, thank you. That's lovely to hear, Stygian. I'm glad that you are fine. We could be good, but fine is good in the meantime. Alright, so that's coming through. I have like a million different tabs open right now, because I have completely revamped everything, and for some reason, I decided to do that, and now everything is everywhere, and I don't know where everything is, and I'm scared, quite frankly. There's a bunch of screens that I have open, and I'm too afraid to close them, but I'm gonna do that. You know what? I'm not gonna close them, I'm just gonna shove them in the corner so I can't see them. There we go. Hello, Gray! What's poppin'? Okay, is that light on? Alright, that light's on. Camera there? Okay, what do I still need to do here? You'll also notice that I've invested in probably the most useless piece of miniature painting technology, which is, of course, the shitty little spinning rotating base. That serves no purpose, except it makes your minis go round and round and round. And honestly, that was worth the $20 price that I paid for it. It's probably more than that, knowing me. I'm not very good at sourcing bargains. I'm not very good at a lot of things, but you know what? I have no follow-up to that. I gotta go sadly. Never mind. See, your life is more important than... Your life is important. That's the end of that sentence. No worries. I always value it when people drop in to say hi. It makes me feel loved. It makes me feel known. It makes me feel welcomed, you know? So, that is all well and good with me. Okay, I need to find this paint, which is concealed behind a bunch of shit on my desk. Oh god. Oh god. There we go. Okay. This little fucker right here, right? You see this? This is my trusty pot of Raycar flesh. Now, I was looking for this all day yesterday. I did that thing that I normally do, where I go out to the, I go out to my local gaming store, so I can do some painting and get some, like, actual live face-to-face social interactions. When I did that, I didn't bring the one paint that I needed, and I was very sad about that. Because I think, as far as this guy's concerned, as far as little Gaz here is concerned, I think we're in a good spot with him. Quite frankly, I'm not in a good spot physically because I just kicked my camera stand, but that's neither here nor there. So we're in a good spot with him. We are really just there's only a couple little things I still need to do actually, and I'm suddenly realizing that having this little rotating base could actually be kind of annoying, so I'm going to turn that off right now. The cat, that's me. Hello, Twitch.tv user, the Jimble Wimble. I also should point out, and I will probably point it out a couple times as I sort of go along, I'm trying to multi-stream from both YouTube and Twitch.tv at the moment, just to try it out. I've seen there's been a lot of conversations in the news lately about the whole sort of dichotomy between streaming on Twitch versus streaming on YouTube. You know, is YouTube the place to stream? Is Twitch the place to stream? Rada, 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 yada, yada, yada. And I thought I'd hedge my bets a little bit. You know what I mean? So I've got my feed is coming through live on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So if you see me talking to people who aren't there, I'm not crazy. I'm not insane. And quite frankly, I just need to stipulate that. First time catching a stream came from YouTube? Hell yes! Twitch.tv user the Jimble Wimble. I am doing the plastic crack today. Honestly, doing the plastic crack is probably all I can feasibly manage when it comes to streaming. Mostly because the last couple of times I've tried to do a video game stream in the past, my entire rig has exploded to the point where I had to go send it in for repairs, which is less than ideal, I'll have you know. It's not what you want when it comes to doing things live on the internet. However, I have devised a little bit of a MacGyver solution in order to record gameplay videos on my Steam Deck. So I'm very excited for that. You might have noticed I just published a YouTube video just last night, actually. I think it's less than 24 hours old. Of a couple little gameplay clips I took playing the hit major motion picture video game Far Cry 5, which is not a new game. It has been out for quite some time, and I think I bought it for like $15 on sale because it was so old. But it still holds up. I still enjoy it. I've played it once before, and I'm actually going through and replaying it because I've been thinking about it. Well, let's not psychoanalyze why I'm thinking about replaying a video game about, you know, the deepest problems at the heart of the United States of America. Let's not psychoanalyze anything about that. Let's not psychoanalyze me, because I feel like if we do that, that's just begging for disaster, quite frankly. Okay, there we go. Now, as I sort of mentioned, I'm like very far along in the painting of old Gaz here. Psychoanalyze Ethan, got it. No, please don't do that. YouTube user Stygian, Listen, I feel like psychoanalyzing me is a moot point at this point. I am an enigma, and a mystery. And nobody really knows what's going on up here, least of all me. So I feel like if anybody else tries to psychoanalyze me, I will have truths revealed to me that I do not want revealed. And that is a concern. I was about to say something, and I completely forgot what I was going to say. But you know what? That's just pretty much what I am now. You know what I mean? Just joined. What's up? Hello, unscrupulous window pane. I am chatting, and I am painting some little models. All I see is some wicked eyeliner on a Vegeta hairline. Ha 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 ha! My hairline is none of your concern. Twitch.tv user the Jimble Wimble. The eyeliner is pretty good, though. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I just got banned from a server for being too funny. YouTube user Stygian, that is... Is that really what happened? I feel like you're lying. I feel like you're hiding something from me. I feel like you're concealing truths. And I don't like people who conceal truths. Okay, so what am I doing? Oh my god. Okay. Oh, that's right. I still got to put a little layer of blue on the little space marine down there. I was almost half tempted to paint the little space marine helmet on Gaz's base a different color than blue, because I always feel like when there's like corpses of space marines on models, they tend to be painted the same shade of ultramarine blue, just because people have it out for the space marines, you know? So I thought, you know what, maybe I'll paint it like red. Maybe it'll be a dead blood angel, you know? Really shake it up a bit, you know what I mean? But then I thought that would be mean, because all of my space marines that I have are ultramarines. So I feel like it would be cruel and unusual to have a dead space marine that was from an army that wasn't the one that I personally collect. So I feel like someone would take personal offense to that. And they would be right. Okay, which means I need to find my Macragge blue that isn't completely... Okay, this is the one. I have 2 pots of Macragge blue. One of them is entirely dried out, and the other one is still usable. Lamenta? I could make it a Lamenta. That does make sense. To have a little, Lamenta corpse on an Orc Warboss base. But I figured I would keep in the Ultramarine, groove, for lack of a better term. Just to keep things consistent, you know what I mean? I love your laugh, it's diabolical. Well, I'm glad for that, YouTube user unscrupulous window pane, because if you thought anything differently, there's not much I could do about it. I laugh the way that I laugh. I smile the way that I smile, and I am what I am. And you should be what you are. Never let anybody try to diminish your light. Under any circumstances. Okay, did I thin this enough? Ooh, I think that might be a little thick, actually. No, it's fine. I am notoriously bad at, thinning my paints to the right consistency, and, I think I might have laid this one on a little bit too thick. But if that's the case, I'll just have to deal with that. Yeah, I think I might use a little bit of water on my brush just to scoop that out. Yeah, I find that if I ever I get a little bit too overzealous with the thickness of my paints, I will literally just slap a bit of water on my brush and then use that to take off any excess moisture that I have there. I painted the Space Marine helmet on the base there, with really diluted thin paints, to the point that it almost looks like I've used contrast paint to paint the little base helmet there. Not complaining though. Where did you get that harness, if you don't mind me asking? Well, twitch.tv user the Jimble Wimble, I got this harness from a little retailer in Australia called Dangerfield. It is, or it was, I guess it still is, Australia's like go-to zone for alternative and weird clothing, for lack of a better term. It's where all the ghouls and goths go to get their fits. But I don't know if we like them anymore. I think they might have fallen out of vogue a little bit in the past. However long it's been. I'm a bit late, lol. I was practicing some ASL. YouTube user more of Mo. That's incredible! I've always wanted to learn sign language. Which I think is what that acronym is referring to. It might not, and I might just be stupid. Yeah, I've always thought about learning sign language. I figured if I was going to learn another language, I would want that one to be it. I had a chance when I was younger to learn Chinese as a second language, but that completely fell through because everybody that I went to school with was, I don't know, what's the word? Racist? Disruptive in the one class that teaches you languages from other cultures. Take from that what you will. Are we hanging out on Twitch as well? More of Mo, that is correct. I'm trying multi-streaming for the first time. I'm not entirely sure how it's gonna go. I've seen a lot of discourse on the internet as of late in regards to, you know, Twitch versus YouTube as far as streaming platforms are considered. And, you know, I have my opinions on the topic. I think that, you know, both platforms have their positives and negatives, but I wanted to sort of just, like, split the market a little bit. So I'm live on YouTube, I'm live on Twitch, I'm really just, I'm hedging my bets. This was stock trading, I would be doing something illegal. I don't know if that's true, I don't know anything about money. Damn it, I'm American, we don't have those. Twitch.tv user Jimble Wimble, that is unfortunate, I'm sorry to hear that. Not the fact that you're American, but the fact that you don't have... Well, I mean, if you're American, you have all the cool goth retailers anyway. Like, you don't need, you know, the weird Australian, like, sub-variant that, you know, caters to a market that otherwise isn't catered to. You got fucking Killstar, you got Dolls Kill and Kill Max, and a bunch of other brands that I imagine have kill in the name. I imagine. I honestly don't know what any of the good goth brands are. Okay. What am I doing? What do I still need to do here? Like, I feel like I'm so close to... I feel like I'm so close to getting into, like, shading and, like, highlighting territory. That I just really want to make sure I'm covering my bases before I move on. Because, like, I'm gonna be so mad if I, like, get to the end and go, like, yeah, I'm finally done, yeah, let's go into the fun stuff, and then there's just a whole bunch of, like, yellow that hasn't been painted in properly. You got you Revolution, and the crown grows wilder with recognition. Well, I mean, I'm glad I wasn't the only one that didn't understand the reference. But then again, I don't understand any references, so that is all well and good with me. Okay, let's see. I want to... I feel like I've got some, like, gold flares and there's, like, bullets in here, but I think it's pretty muddy from where it is. Yeah, I might have to go in and just sort of clean that up a little bit. I think the problem isn't the shading of the gold. I think it's more just, like, the extraneous bleed into... Yeah, see, like, it's bleeding into the metal a bit there. It's bleeding into the metal a little bit up there. So I might just hit it with some Rhinox hide and really just try to clean it up with a small brush. A small brush, I almost said. Like small Connery. Ah. Itchy, itchy. I remember the first time I bought Killstar, I bought from Killstar, I had to get it from overseas because they didn't have a US storefront. Damn. YouTube user Ambatty, that's... I always imagined that Killstar was an American brand. But then again, as an Australian, I think that I think that any brand is an American brand, simply because I'm Australian, and we don't have brands down there. We don't have any brands. It's all like vaguely smushed together. Like, we don't have brands. It's all like bland packaging and big bold black text. Is that anything? I thought that was going to be funny. It wasn't. Sorry I'm late, I was working on school stuff. Do not worry, YouTube user Raven Stars. I didn't take any personal offense to it. This time. You look slay. Thank you, YouTube user Soup Can. I very much appreciate it. I tried to channel my inner dress to impress. You know what I mean? I don't know what that means. I feel like I don't know if that was a joke or just an insane thing to say with my real human mouth. And at this point, I don't know. I don't know. I hit the slay button. That's a more timely reference that I understand. I don't know what fucking weird-ass Roblox games these kids are playing. Okay. All right. My Rhinox hide is almost like it's drying out, and that's very upsetting to me. Probably because it is one of my most used paints. So I really need to take care of it better. Lol, it was funny, my fiance plays that game. According to my internet timelines, Dress to Impress, a, like, Roblox sub-game, is more popular than fucking Black Myth Wukong and Concord. I mean, I feel like the Concord reference is probably not a good comparison, but you know what I mean. Everyone's playing Dress to Impress. Soon it'll be Drynox Hut. Shut up. How dare you be funnier than me. Okay, I have... And you can tell that this pot of paint is, like, absolutely on its last legs vis-a-vis dryness, because, like, I've been trying to, like, get the right consistency, and there's none of the paint's coming out of the pot. Like, it's fucking baked in there. I could kill a man with this. I could just piff it at the back of his head, and it would be like a solid object. No liquid inside. Although I guess the weight of the container would probably be unchanged, regardless of the contents inside, and whether it was solid or liquid. It's a scientific fact. A dried out pot of Citadel paint is heavier than a liquidy pot of Citadel paint, because one is a liquid and the other is a solid. I know my science. I'm a scienceman. Gotta make the decision of going to sleep and not waking up at a reasonable hour or staying up until morning. Go to bed! Listen, here is my challenge to you. If you're able to do this right now, okay, you know, you don't have to do it right now, but in the next couple of days, if you have a chance to go to bed at 7:30 p.m., do it. Take the opportunity and go to bed at 7:30 p.m. and get, like, 20 hours of sleep. Good night, Stygian. YouTube user Stygian, I hope you have sweet dreams. Unless you're memeing on me, I'm gonna stay up until 7 a.m. in the morning. Which could happen. Based on what I understand. Oop, gotta make sure it's in the camera. Kiss Gaz on the mouth. YouTube user John Warrior, I'm not going to kiss Gazgul on the mouth. He needs to earn that. I don't give my kisses out to just about anyone. I go to bed that time anyway, I'm old. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it. I have a strict bedtime of 9 p.m., and that is, quite genuinely, the only way that I can live my life. If I go to bed at any other time, if I tried to stay... Like, I've tried to do it. Like, believe me, I've tried to be a cool kid and stay up past fucking, you know, I've tried to be a cool kid and stay up past 7 a.m. Oh no, I've 7. I can't fucking speak today. Probably because I haven't finished this. Coffee after 5 p.m. Now I am going to be up all night. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it is a very, like, well-established fact. It is a very... Jesus Christ. It is a well-established fact for me that, what you call it? It is a well-established fact for me that if I am, like, up past 9 p.m., I no longer continue to be human, right? Like, for every minute that I am not snug as a bug in a rug in my bed and blankie after 9 p.m., every minute after that, I become more and more of an inhuman monster. I get cranky. And there's no reason for it. There's simply none. Okay, I'm just going to be spending so much time like going over tiny little details that nobody but me is going to see. I'm just fucking laying Gaz on his back right now. I feel like I'm taking him to a spa. This background music is fire, by the way. Hell yes! YouTube user More of Mo. I'm listening to the Payday 3 soundtrack. Payday is a game that I have a lot of fond memories for, and the soundtrack is one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. The Payday 3, the soundtrack of the Payday franchise is so good that even when, like, the main composer of the second game left, and they had to get somebody else to come in and compose the third game, and his only direction was like, hey, make the music like the last guy who composed the game, even though it wasn't his, like, own style, even though he was just copying somebody else's, like, musical style, that musical style was so good that the album was also fire. It was also a banger. I'd like to keep doing that. I probably need to give a little bit of love to the bass, actually, because right now, on the bass, I'm not sure if you can really see it around there, but I've really just sort of got a whole bunch of... It's really just standing on dirt and sand, and there's like a couple of different shapes around here. Like, you can sort of see on his foot here, he's standing on, like, a platform of corrugated iron. There's, like, rebar sticking out to the side. I gotta paint all that shit in. There we go. Alright, what am I doing? I need metal. Where's my lead belcher? There we go. Okay. Now, because he's standing on a little bit of metal here, I'm not sure. Should I go with the metallic steel, or should I go for more of a... I think I might paint it Mechanicus Standard Grey first, so just a more like matte grey kind of color, and then I might see what I can go from there. Yeah, because I feel like, because you can sort of see he's got this little platform that he's standing on here, and there's all these like little like twitchy bits of rebar coming out. Twitchy bits of rebar, twitch.tv/outofthecat. See, I think I'll make the rebar silver, and then I'll make the base platforms that he's standing on just a more like matte grey. Because he's standing on one on this foot too, but it's like barely visible. In fact, for the one on his foot over here, I don't even think I need to really like paint that in properly. Like, I think that should be fine. It's mostly because it like sticks out here, and there's like a little, yeah, there's like a little bit of metal coming out here that's it's clearly not rock, like it's clearly metal. So yeah, I think I'll just I'll make sure it's a bit more of a matte gray. And then I can like shade it or like dry brush it with some sparkly bits. Just so I don't overload it with pretty sparkles. Let's see. And of course that means I have to go digging through my this pit of paint. I need a better system. Is this? No, this is another lead belcher. Why do I have so many lead belchers? Why is lead belcher like the one paint you end up having like 20 pots of? Probably just because it comes in like every like pack that you can get comes with lead belcher. Starter pack, lead belcher. Like basic paint pack, lead belcher. Most popular pack, lead belcher. Hey guys, I'm proud to debut my new model. It's a Necron warrior covered in 100 layers of lead belcher. You can maybe build up some texture on purpose and rust the crap out of it. That is a good idea, YouTube user Darth Malignus. I'm not a big fan of rust though. Like I know that kind of makes me weird, and I know that's very much like a personal preference thing, right? But when it comes to my sort of like preferred style of model, like I'm not a huge fan of weathering, I'm not a huge fan of rust. I kind of just want to have the model sort of like look slick of its own accord, you know what I mean? Like I'm not into battle damage. Like I want my models to be like pretty and pristine and, you know, ooh, ready to go. That makes sense? Probably not. But yeah, it's all like... I will say that I have mad respect for the people who can do like good weathering and good battle damage. Because like, people do some whack shit to get their models like, you know, properly weathered, so to speak. Like, I've seen people use, like, fucking hairspray to get a rust effect. And that is wild to me. I love it when people use, like... technology that they should not be using. Or, like, technology that is not intended for miniature painting. It's like the wackos who use real human blood on their corn berserkers. That can't be sanitary. That might not also be real. I might have just made that up. I'm just lying on the internet again. Glad to catch a bit of the live. Get out of here, YouTube user More of Mo. Have a wonderful evening. It's always good to get some sleep. Yeah, there's definitely appeal towards a clean-looking model. I agree. Like maybe it's because I play like Space Marines, and for me the appeal of Space Marines is literally because they look like giant toys. Like Space Marines are literally just like action figures come to life, and that is the entire appeal of the army. And I have no reservations about like that. Like, I know some people who are like, well, actually, they're like, you know, they're really cool and like great because of like this, and this, and no. No. They're action figures. They're just like fucking Toy Story toys come to life. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who take Warhammer way too seriously. I am proud to say that I am not one of them. I like painting my funny little sparkly toys. I like playing my funny little board and dice games. Well, I say that, but I need to actually finish a bloody army before I can do that. Yeah, only a little bit of the metal panel, like, sticks out this way. Like, it doesn't really, like, stick out the other side, so I think I should be good with that. Is there anything else that I need to paint gray here? I'm thinking for this, like... Because there's that little, like, block of stone sticking out the back of it. I think I'll just keep that painted in Xandri dust like I have it there. Yeah, I think I should be good to do that. Actually, you know what? I thought for this little rebar back here, I was thinking about going lead belcher to give it more, like, silvery sparkleness, whatever you call it. But I think instead, I'm gonna go with, bullet. Warblock bronze. Because Warblock bronze is the same sort of metal that I've used across a lot of Gaz's model already, and I think having something that's a little bit duller and a little bit more brown sticking out here, it's going to attract less attention. Like, I feel like if I have this rebar be like a brighter silver, it'll be too, like, it'll take too much attention away from the model. Of course, I could just be making shit up. I don't know color theory. Color theory is like the one thing about art that I do not know, which is ironic because I'm painting. Like, you would think somebody who enjoys miniature painting would also enjoy the intricacies of color theory. I don't. When it comes to art, I like doing the line work. I like doing the inking. That's my steez. That's my jam. Yeah, just like a coppery metal to just make you know that it's metallic. One that isn't bright enough to, like, really distract too much attention. I'm gonna adjust it to my ribcage so it doesn't strangle me when I lean forward. The price of beauty, I know. Or rather, the price of a weirdly particular style. Okay, there we go. There we go. I do find that the metallic paints really add a lot of, like, thickness to bits of the model. Like, I feel like anytime I use a metallic paint, I tend to lose a lot of, like, minute detail, and sometimes that worries me, but then other times I'm like, well, if that's just how the paint works, then that's just how the paint works, right? I will say, though, painting the base of this is very exciting, because... It's very exciting because the base is always, like, the last thing that you do, or it's one of the last things that you do. In my case, I just sort of tend to, like, bounce back and forward. Once you get down to the bottom there, you can tell you're almost done. And all that hard work will finally be worth something. Or so I'm told. Any other, like, little bits of rebar? Yeah, there's a couple of bits of rebar that are just, like, floating around. Couple of bits of rebar that's floating around. There's some there. I also know there's a lot of bullets on his base, and I detest painting really small details like that, because I know I'm going to bleed over into other things. I know I'm going to bleed over into other things. It's just inevitable. It's going to happen. Oh, so now I'm gonna fucking bonk my camera stand every 2 seconds because I don't know where I am in 3-dimensional space. That is really watered down. That's almost like a... It's almost like a contrast paint. It's almost like a shade paint that I've just sort of like reverse engineered. The power of watering down your paints, I swear to God. Like, yeah, let me just sort of put that... Ooh. Almost using a... This was supposed to be like a base paint, but I've watered it down so much that it's almost acting like a shade paint. Go me. I'm so fucking good at this. Okay, let's see. What other kind of details can I put there? Yeah, I think most of the detail of the base is going to come from just like a healthy layer of shading more than anything. But is there anything that I can just add a little bit more Warplock bronze to? Really watered down version of it anyway. You know, I'll just slap some onto the... Just really slap some onto the middle of the top. Which I think already has pretty good coverage, but I'm really just going for gold here. Really just going for gold. I don't know. I've been thinking about streaming a lot lately. Mostly because, well, you know, I haven't done it in a while, and, you know, that always gets you thinking about it. But I've seen a lot of discourse on the various feeds and the various timelines about, like, YouTube streaming versus Twitch streaming. Because, like, I guess what's been happening recently is that, like, a lot of people had, like, contracts to ditch Twitch and go to YouTube, and now all those contracts are expiring, and suddenly they're all going back to Twitch, like, en masse, so to speak. And, like, I don't know, I think a lot of people, like, rag on YouTube as a streaming platform, but I seem to enjoy it. Like, when I was doing the vertical lives, like, I seemed to have some pretty alright success with that. But then suddenly, like the algorithm changed for that or something, or I guess I just weren't pushing it as a product all that much. I hate saying, oh, the algorithm's changed, because that just sounds like an excuse. But when you change nothing and go from 131,000 views to, like, 600, you know, something definitely feels like it's changed. But yeah, so I thought maybe, you know, I'll try going the more, like, traditional horizontal route. You know, throw something up on, you know, Twitch and YouTube just at the same time, get some extra coverage. Because at the end of the day, I'm just, like, chilling out, having fun, you know? I like to vibe. That's the important thing with me. Do I need any extra... I guess I could get a little bit of extra detailing on his teeth. I'm scared to do that, because anytime I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put like a little bit of extra highlighting on teeth, like then it just... That's when I fuck it up. Like anytime I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta give the teeth a little bit more attention. They're always such small, minute details. And I just end up botching it. But you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna give it my best shot. Means I need that very oddly specific paint that I need. Let's see, White Scar? No, not the one. Uruk Flesh. Where is it? Celestra Grey. No, I need like Ulthuan Grey. That's right. I've got like... the problem with having like... I'm back, but I have to lurk for now. I hope that's okay. That's okay, see? I'm just happy you're here. Let's see. See, the problem with having a whole bunch of, like, oddly specific paints is that you'd spend, like, 7 minutes trying to find the first, like, oddly specific one that you need. And then eventually you find it. But it takes like 7 minutes. Oh, thanks, Soup Can. Get out of here. Have a good night. Yuck. Sounds awful. Yeah. I'm just taking it chill. It's been a while since I've had the time to paint, and I'm making the most of it. I'm still getting used to my new work schedule, so it's like trying to balance everything with like new responsibilities, new lifestyle changes, everything like that. Little details there. Always so nervous when I add extra highlighting on teeth, because it's like one little slip up and I feel like I've undone so much work. Especially since I've gone the extra mile, and like you can kind of see it in the camera, like just a little bit. I put like the faintest little shit, like dark green shade to like represent his gums, which is something that I haven't, which is like an over-the-top detail that I haven't, like... Like, I haven't done that on any of my other orc models. Yeah, just a few licks, a few scraps. That should be good, that's safe. Beautiful smile! Went to the zoo over the weekend, saw a 4-frog stack, it was crazy. Fuck yes. See, those are the kinds of zoo anecdotes that I live for. Animals fucking rock. Like, that's all I gotta say. Like, there's something so, like, inherently charming about animals doing dumb shit that we as humans perceive to be mildly interesting. Like, there's no evolutionary advantage for them to do that. Although there might be, actually. I'm not actually entirely sure. Maybe there is, maybe there wasn't. Who knows? Frogs just like to stack up on themselves. But you know what? If you were small and slimy, I bet you'd also like to, like, both stand on something small and slimy and also be stood on by something small and slimy. Actually, the more that I speak about it verbally, like, the worse it gets. It's an awful mental image. Schlorb. Okay. Anything else I need? I feel like I'm so close to being able to move on and like start doing all the like the cool shading and stuff like that, but I just need to be certain. Just need to be certain, because like once I start going on to the next steps, like I can't go back. But then again, if I have to look this closely to find like little extraneous details that I haven't touched on yet, then nobody else is gonna know. Nobody else is gonna know. People simply will not know. Okay, alright. Let's see. Is anything down here? There's like a lot of details on this like claw arm over here that I sort of neglected, like these pipes back here. No, they look alright. I feel like most of the shit that's gonna happen with this claw arm here is gonna come in the it's gonna come in the detailing phase anyway. Anything else needs to happen with his face? Ooh, you know what? I think he needs just a splash of... I colored in one of his eyes, but not the other one. Always so scared when it comes time to put in, like, the next layer of yellow, you know what I mean? Like... like, I can't tell you, like, how many... Like, this is always how it happens with me and my orcs, right? Like, I get through everything. I, like, paint all of their... fucking shit, all of their, like, base colors, all of their details, everything like that. And then it comes to the eyes. And I'm like, okay, I just have to put a little yellow dot. Make a little yellow dot for their eyes. And like, that's it. That's all I need to do. I go in there. Schwarb. Oh, I hated doing that. But they always make the eye, like, way too big. Or, like, I don't get the consistency right. And then I just sort of, like, it sort of bleeds out into everything else. And I will never financially recover from it. It also seems like my yellow paint is drying out, which is a very big concern for me, because I like this yellow paint, and I use it a lot. And now I've accidentally put some of it into my pot of Lamian medium. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see. Just kick the camera stand. That's fine. I'm gonna get real close for this one. Oops! I just put yellow somewhere I shouldn't have. That's... fuck me. Okay. Painting is hard. Absolutely does not help. This paint is like... Avaland Sunset. More like Avaland... Can't fucking load up on a brush anymore. Jesus Christ. That doesn't rhyme. Okay, I'm just stressing now. I'm stressing now. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, okay. Okay, just a little... Just gotta feel out his eye socket a little bit. Ah, fuck me. Okay, might have put a little bit too much yellow in there. Actually, no, it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't actually look all that bad, I don't think. Just so it like really fills out the space. That doesn't look too bad. I didn't do alright there. Nails holding up nice, I see. That is absolutely right. See, well, I mean, look. Holding up. They're doing fine. I will say they've been holding up a lot longer than they have previously, simply because I put like a clear layer of varnish on top of them, which was a smart choice, I feel like. Like, normally I just slap down some color and called it a day, but now I was actually like, you know what, I'm gonna try and... I'm gonna try and, like, give it some longevity, you know what I mean? Okay. Let's see, is there any, like, tiny little details I still need to do? No, I think for the most part, everything is more or less painted. So that means it's time to shade. Very exciting time. Very exciting for me, which means I get to use my favorite paints of all time, the shade paints. Now, the reason I love shade paints is because it's almost impossible to fuck them up. You just have to, like, get a whole bunch on a brush, slap them all over the surface area or something, and call it a fucking day. You're good. Let's see, what are we doing? I'm also very happy because I got I got a couple of discontinued shade paints that I use for my orcs here. And it feels like I'm using like ancient forbidden knowledge. Like I have a couple of gloss paints, which I've had for a while now. Where are you? God, I need a better filing system than this. I need a better filing system than just the Walmart bag full of fucking Citadel paints. Let's see, null, oil, gloss. Actually, I will keep this out for now. But I've got a thing of... Yeah, because the way that I understand it is that the gloss paints are shade paints. They give you a little extra, like, shine to your models. Like, they reflect light a little bit more. And they discontinued them because they sucked and were bad. So now I can confidently say that I'm the only person in the world still using the shitty, discontinued gloss paints. I feel like I'm using, like, ancient technologies. Drink the paint. John Warrior, do not tempt me. I might just drink the paint. You can't say for sure that I haven't. You don't know how many times that I've accidentally drunk from my, like, cup of water that I use to thin the paints out. You don't know how many times that I've done that. So you cannot say for certain whether it's above 1 or below. I don't know how it could be below, actually, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It'll be funny. That's the worst part. That's the worst part, YouTube user John Warrior, is that it would be funny. That's the worst part. Because knowing that it'll be funny just inspires me to do it. I commit to the bit, and that's my problem. I commit to the bit, and that's my biggest problem. Okay. So, I'm basically now going to painstakingly go through the process of slathering this entire model in paint. Shade paint, specifically. And now, I just need to warn you, is that for this part of the process, I'm going to become morbidly depressed. Because as I start slopping on shade paints, I'm going to go, shit, fuck, this looks like ass, this sucks, this looks gross, I'm ruining all of my hard work. And then I'll get to the end of it, and I'll be like, oh, it's okay. The paint's dried, it looks different now, I'm good. I'm cool and good and healthy. Let's see. Let's fucking go. Try to thin, yeah, get it evenly spread. So people said they discontinued shade paints for a reason, or that they weren't like. I guess they didn't discontinue shade paints. I mean gloss shade paints. Like, I guess they just weren't, like, as popular as the likes of, more traditional shade paints, which I can get. Like, shade paints you mostly want to go over colors with to, like, you know, like, fill in the recesses and, like, create shadows and everything like that. Having a shade paint that also, like, gives your model a little bit of, like, a sheen or a shimmer to it, it's kind of counterintuitive. But it's an interesting effect, and I like it. Maybe I'm just contrarian. Maybe just want to fit in the mold, man. I am not society's ideal of a Warhammer painter. I mean, obviously, fucking look at me. go. Slurp, slurp, slurp. I don't think this is a very good shade paint brush because, like, it's. I think I need to retire this brush, quite frankly, because it's like it's one of those brushes that I have just to like do shitty base coating or like, you know, shading and everything like that. But its bristles are like fully fused together for the most part now. Like, there is really no saving this one. Like, I really have to just, like, use the tip of this brush. Because, like, otherwise, it just doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, like, right now, I'm really just lathering it on there. Might have lathered it a bit too thick, actually. You know, I'll leave the brush face down in my cup of water so that its bristles can thaw out or like dissolve apart. Everyone loves it when they see me leave my brushes like bristles down in my paint water. Everyone's a big fan when I do that in all of my comment sections. Hey, it's Margaret Thatcher. EpicPlayer62 on Twitch.com. That is an incredibly rude thing to say to me. How dare you? That's so mean. Oh, you mean him. Yeah, I see it. I get the meme. I don't understand the Margaret Thatcher, like, parallel or comparison that people often make to Big Gaz, but you know what? Maybe it's not something that I need to. Maybe it's not something that I need to understand. Maybe that's just British culture, you know. We make fun of the Brits for so many things. So maybe having them be just giving them the luxury of being extraordinarily mad at their dead politicians. Maybe that's just a luxury that they can have. You know what I mean? Gaz and her have a striking resemblance. I mean, listen, I don't have the generations worth of, like, pent-up smugness that, British people have for Margaret Thatcher. So, but my understanding, based on the way that I hear people talk about Margaret Thatcher, I can only assume that she murdered babies, ate babies, or sent babies off to be murdered by other babies. Gazgul's name is Margaret Thatcher. Gazgul Mag... Okay, I see the resemblance. Streaking grime hype. Hell yes! YouTube user Leia Gelwasser. Gelweiser? I'm not good at pronunciations. I'm not streaking grime, I'm just putting on a layer of, like, shade paint. I don't think I'm gonna go, like, super grimy or anything like that. Like, grime sits in the same category as rust. I need to stop kicking this. It's fucking tripod. I always kick it. It always makes a big rattle. It always makes for terrible television. But anyway, as I was saying, I've always been in two minds about, like, grime and, like, rust effects on minis and things like that. Like, I like to keep minis pretty pristine when I make them, but normally I paint Space Marines, so, like, now that I'm, like, getting into orcs, maybe I should start looking into, like, rust and corrosion and blood and guts and grime and all that cool shit like that. All the cool glorp. Sometime soon I want to experiment with watercolors and gouache as a replacement for oil and enamel washes at some point. Ooh! YouTube user layer. That sounds good. I love it when people use, like, new and interesting painting methodologies. Or, more than that, I like it when people use painting methodologies that are, like, not mini painting methodologies. Like, I love it when people, I don't know, bust out, like, a tin of resin, and it's just like, I'm gonna use this to, like, encase my mini in fucking ice. And I'm like, that is entirely non-standard. I love it. Also, I saw a rhinoceros iguana. It was very cool. Hell yes. YouTube user I Heart Narcissism. God, I gotta go to a zoo again. It's been too long since I've been to a zoo. You ever just get cravings to go to a zoo? That's just something I do. I don't know what the zoo game is like in Vancouver. Like, you know, like my hometown of Melbourne has some bomb ass zoos. So like I don't think my new home country of Canada can really like keep up in that regard. So I'm like scared to go to a zoo because like what if it's mediocre? What if the only animals they have are like raccoon? Not even raccoons plural, raccoon singular. It's a sudden urge to go look at funny little guys. That's so true. YouTube user Leia Gelwazer. There's some funny little guys. Ugh! Go to the Toronto Zoo, it's solid. I will absolutely do that, John Warrior. Surely, Toronto is not that far from Vancouver, right? Like, I don't know the geography of Canada, but I'm sure I can just get in a car and be in... I can just hop in a car from Vancouver and, like, get to Toronto in, like, 20 minutes? 30 minutes, maybe? That sounds about accurate, right? Hello? Huh? Why'd you hang up on me? Yeah. I know the city has a bomb-ass aquarium, though. Like, I'm really looking forward to... really looking forward to getting that out, getting out there. Because what is an aquarium if not just a zoo, but for fish? I mean, I think that's exactly what it is. Oh no, it's really far. I missed that part. Don't worry about it. I'm just yanking your chain. I'm pulling your leg. I'm having a goof, having a gaff. Toronto Aquarium is great. Can't Vancouver have one thing? Can't we have the bomb-ass aquarium while you have the bomb-ass everything else by the sounds of things? I'm being facetious. I'm being facetious. Everyone should have a bomb-ass aquarium. Easily accessible to them. Yo, real talk though, aquariums are fucking expensive. Like, I think the last time I tried to go to the aquarium in, like, Melbourne, no, I meant Vancouver Aquarium. Yes! Finally! Something my home is good at. Come to Vancouver. We got bomb-ass fish, apparently. Let's just slurp a bunch of shade paint in this tiny, like, little arm nook that nobody's gonna see, but I'm gonna see it. So I need to make sure that it's adequately covered. Okay, so already I'm just, like, adding, like, a nice... I'm liking the little layer of sheen this shade paint gives. This shade paint gives Big Gaz. By the way, what paints pick up orcs? Because you have a Dark Eldar vibe. You're not the first person to say it, and you definitely won't be the last. I liked orcs because they were funny little guys. You know what I mean? Like, orcs to me are just fun. And also, I think, in like... Okay, so there's a couple of reasons I picked up orcs, right? Like, first of all, I first started getting into Warhammer because of the hit video game... funny little guy, Sweep. I first started getting into Warhammer, like, really and truly, through playing the hit major motion picture video game, Space Marine. The first one, not the new one that's coming out in, like, 10 days, because that would be weird if I played that one in the past, because it's not out yet. So, I first started getting into Warhammer playing Space Marine, and the orcs were in that one. And so I sort of had, like, a little basic reference for what the orcs were. And, like, I didn't know... That game doesn't really give you, like, a full picture of the orcs. Like, it's sort of just... They sort of just paint them as, like, a big, dumb, stupid, like, horde minion sort of thing. But because I had that little frame of reference, I Learned a little bit more about them, learned that they were just like funny little guys, and then I also learned that they were really cheap to buy in comparison to like lots of other armies. And that was a big draw for me, because I don't like spending money. And also they're funny little guys. So that's really kind of like the full circle of what it is. It's like the price to plastic ratio, it's the goofery, it's the fact that they scream so hard that they get superpowers. There's just a lot going for them. I will say, though, like... I don't know, I wouldn't say no to playing Dark Eldar. Would I, though? Would I? I don't know. I feel like the Dark Eldar have a lot of connotations that I don't really, like, get into, if that makes sense. Like... I feel like yes, there is an argument to be made that the Dark Eldar are like goth, and that really goes with like my mystique sort of thing. But I feel like the Dark Eldar have branding that's sort of still very much tied to the like, you know, 90s, early 2000s like edgy Warhammer phase. Like they're all ooh sex fiends. And, like, that's not really my vibe. When it comes to, like, you know, the armies and, like, the Dark Eldar and everything like that. So, yeah, it's... I probably will pick up a couple of, like, Dark Eldar, like, units at some point. Just to fit the vibe. Just to fit the mystique. But also they're really small, and I hate painting really small things. I like painting the big boys. Orcs are really funny from the orc perspective. Yeah, they're absolutely fucking terrifying for everyone else. I couldn't have put it better myself, YouTube user John Warrior. Because, like... Well, I mean, at the very least, they're the only army that, like, has fun. You know what I mean? Everyone else is having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, and they've been having one for the last 10,000 years. The orcs, at least, are like, hey, how fast can we make this car go? And can we put a little goblin in it? And can we make it explode when it's done? And that's why we love them. $49.50 for the aquarium. Jesus Christ. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see some fish, but do I want to see $50 worth of fish? I could go to the market and buy $50 worth of fish. And have them! And eat them! I guess I can't buy a cool, like, shark and a stingray, though. Or could I? Oh, damn, the zoo is $53 right now? Good lord. I mean, I guess... See, like, the zoos I get, because, you know, they're doing a whole bunch of, like, conservation work and everything like that, and it takes money to make sure that kangaroos don't go extinct, even though I think they're doing pretty fine on their own, for the most part. And I guess if I extend that courtesy to zoos, I should probably extend that courtesy to aquariums as well, because what is an aquarium if not a zoo for fish? We need to stop having, like... We need to stop relying on aquariums and zoos to take care of animals. What we need to go back to is estranged billionaires having private zoos that they, like, you know, provide easy and cheap access to for the sole purpose of just showing off their immense wealth. That's what we need. We need more estranged, eccentric billionaires. That's my take of the day, and I'm sticking by it. Stupid. Yes, because what this world needs is more billionaires. Anti-capitalist. Yeah. You're gonna be sparkly when I'm done with you, Gashgul. You're gonna be sparkly when I'm done. I'm gonna put all kinds of sparkles on him. Gonna give him edge highlighting. Oh, I love edging my models. Nope, that's not it. That's not what I wanted at all. stupid. This guy is going to be the basis of my new kill team. Because what? Every kill team... Could you play kill team with a Gazgul? You just have, like, one really big guy. His kill team is, like, what? Like, 5, like, random little guys, like, running around in a really, like, tight corridor, fast-paced skirmish. You play a game of kill team, this is, like, one, like, mega knob against, like, a bunch of little guys. That's what I want. Yo, I don't know about you, but I'm so fucking relaxed right now. I'm zen as fuck, my guy. I wish. I think I found a boss battle mode. Most kill teams are just one box pickup. Any of the... Yeah, I totally get that. Like... What I do appreciate about kill team, though, is that... Because, like, all of their... Because they have, like, their, like, specialized kill team boxes that you can, like, go in and buy from any Games Workshop retailer near you. But you could also, like, build a kill team out of, like, models you already have. Like, I think I could, like, theoretically play kill team right now with my 5, heavy Space Marine intercessors that I have lying around the place. They're not done. I still need to finish painting them. But, like, theoretically, I wouldn't even need to go buy a whole new kill team for that. I could just use the models that I already have, and I like that they give you that option. It's very kind of them, Games Workshop. Thank you. You can have the rest of my paycheck now. Oh. I do need to finish my Orc Commandos. I should have been playing Warhammer games, like, literally... I feel like 6 months ago now, at this point. Like, I always pivot to, like, a new project or a new thing, like, the second before I'm, like, just about ready to, like, wrap up and finish, like, the last thing that I was doing. You know what I mean? Like, I was so... I got pretty close to finishing off my Space Marines, and then I started painting Orcs. And then I got pretty close to finishing off my Orc army, and then I started painting the kill team. You know what I mean? I got so close every time. Just wanted to stop by and say I love your vibe, and I love your vibe, YouTube user Amoeba Chew. Because your vibe is kind, and I appreciate that. I appreciate kindness in this world, especially when kind things are said to me. I also appreciate kindness when it's said to other people who aren't me, but not as much. Kill team does have Strike Force, Justy, and Kill, which you can kitbash together. I feel like you're setting me up for a D's Nuts joke, but I can't, like, explain why I think that. Yeah, what's Justy and Kill? Justy and Kill this wee. This ween, Justy and Kill these nuts. I haven't found the thread, but I feel like I will at some point. I forgot to take off the word kill at the end of that. Oh, so just Strike Force Justian. Justian Nass. Justian D. The Mind Goblins got to me. No! There is a future. There is an alternate timeline where I was fully got by that, and I chose to end my streaming career then and there. There was a world where it happened, but it wasn't this one. You hear me? You'll never take me alive. You'll never get me with the Mind Goblin. Honestly, what I should probably do is just like is I should probably just like get a bot to like automatically ban the punchlines to like mind goblin or D's nuts jokes, like, and then walk straight into them, and every time somebody tries to get me with them, they're automatically banned forever. Immediately killed. Headshot. Ooh, yes. I love glossy shade paints when I put them on metallic paints. Makes my brain go ooh ooh ah ah. Makes me go fucking chimp. Yes. It's just like the best part for me. Like, I just slap down the fucking shade paints, and then afterwards I'll go through and like put a quick dry brush over everything, and then I'll be fucking good to go. And I love that for me. Let's see, is there anything else I need to do? Is there any other... Okay, it's still got a bit of, like, copper metal on his, like, pipes up here. His top pipes. So I'm going to put the Agrax gloss up here. And then around the silvery bits, I'll put Nuln Oil gloss, because I also have that paint. Zen as fuck right now. Just thickly layering that shade paint on. Ooh, yeah. Hello there, Twitch.tv user the Dino Custodian. What's poppin'? How we doing? I'm painting Gaz. And I'm at my favorite part of painting right now. The shade painting stage. Stage in which I can just absolutely zonk out and just lather this mini and do fucking like glossy browns. Alright. I think for the time being, that's like the last little... Like, I'll just put like another like quick little layer of shade paint on his shoulder pads, because I feel like they were the first things that I painted, so I probably didn't shade them enough. And I'm just slapping the paints everywhere else, but that's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Let's see, how's that looking? Doing great. Glad to see a fellow orc enjoyer. Oh, you added me to a team, my man. Friend. Whichever. Fucking love me, these orcs. I've been working on this Gaz for, like... God, I don't know how long at this point. This Gaz has been going on for, like, far too long. I just want to, like, get him done so I can paint some of my other guys. You know, so I can, like, paint these fucking, like, mega knobs that I've had built, ready to roll. Like, I need to finish this man so I can paint other men. Like, that's where I'm kind of at this point. Like, that's the crux that I'm at. Okay, so I'm just gonna let him dry for a little bit, because I always do this. The part that I always get to when it comes to shade paint is that I always, like, lather on a bunch of paint, and then I'm like, you know what? Another coat! And then I immediately, like, fuck up the paint before it's dried. It happens every time, but because I paint orcs, the shittiness of the paint kind of goes with the vibe. You know what I mean? Gaz looks awesome. Thank you, Twitch.tv user, that Kate Orc mom. I'm glad you enjoy him. I painted him for you, specifically, so you could see it here and now. Love the fit too. Thank you. It hurts my back for some reason, and I don't entirely know why. I have no idea what it is. Like, I have this harness on right now. The literal, like... What's the opposite of tight? The loosest it can be. And, like... It's like dragging against some bone in my spine that's, like, reducing my lifespan by 34 days. At minimum. Beauty is pain, mate, I feel you. Oh, God. I must survive. Is that a Meganob next to him? That is absolutely right, YouTube user Leia Gelwaza. I bought a bunch of Meganobs, purely because they're the only thing you can field on the table with Gaz. So that was a bit of a mechanical decision rather than a thematic one, because I think these guys look kind of doofy. Like, I don't like how the Meganobs looked. Okay, let me clarify that. I didn't like how the Meganobs looked. Like, I didn't want to buy any of the Meganobs because I was just absolutely not interested in any of them. Like, they just didn't grab me. They didn't float my boat. But now that I have them, purely for mechanical gameplay reasons, and I've built this one, I'm like, you know what? I take it all back. This is my son, and I love him. Actually, no, let's really, no, that's not what I want. This is my son. This is my son. And one day you will love him too. You can always kitbash them to look better too. I agree. Rainy Dreadman 12345 over on YouTube.com. I didn't actually kitbash this one all that much. See, I feel like the Meganobs are kind of like they're a hard one to kitbash in a way. You know what I mean? Because like they have a very structured body shape that not a lot of orcs have. Like, I feel like it's difficult to kitbash the Meganob specifically, because their arms are so thick and mechanical that, like, if you put another orc arm on there, then it's just gonna be way too small. It's gonna be like my arms compared to the rest of my body. And like other orcs, like it's hard to find an orc of similar size and scale that sort of fits with them. Like, if you compare it to the War Boss in Mega Armor here, he's significantly bigger. So none of his bits would fit. None of his bit fit. Anyway, this is me complaining about a lot of things. But I think I put a little bit of customization on there. Or I tried to put customization on there. Like, I tried to use some bits of the like Dakajet kit that I have. Like, I tried to make him have a really big rocket launcher for one of his arms. Just be like, but it was just too big. Like, I found it difficult to kitbash things of the right size. You know what I mean? And I just kicked my fucking truck. Yeah. Have you thought about looting an Imperial Walker, i.e. Dreadnoughts or Sentinels, to make cans or a Death Dread? That is a very good idea. I don't think I've really tried kitbashing pieces between armies. Okay. I kind of have. I have some Chaos Space Marines that I, oh god, do the Meganobs have truck nuts? YouTube user I Heart Narcissism. Meganobs do not by default have truck nuts, but this one does. And they are skulls. Because of course they are. But yes, Twitch.tv user, the Dino Custodian. I guess I haven't really thought about kit bashing things between or between armies rather. I've got a couple of like Chaos Space Marines that I've used some like Space Marine bits on them, and I've got some Space Marines that I think I've used some Chaos Space Marine bits on them. Oh, speaking of which, I have this orc right here who has a Chaos Space Marine pauldron as a hat. Because I think that's delightful. But outside of that, I'm just really using like what little like bits and pieces that I have here and there. I think in order, like, I don't have that many like big kits. Like, the only big kits that I really have are like the biggest kit that I have is the Leviathan set, and you don't really get a lot of pieces to play with there in terms of like kit bashing, if that makes sense. Because like, I feel as though, oh yeah, like the Leviathan set, everything comes in like one format. Like, it's all push fit. You don't have a lot of like customization options, and that's because you get 2 whole armies in a box. Like, the most things that I could use for kit bashing are like all the spare pieces from the Dakajet that I have sitting in the corner. You don't really get a lot of, like, extra pieces from the Megatrax Scrapjet, which I found to be kind of disappointing. Like, but it was also a cheaper set as well, so I guess that makes sense. Like, you don't really get a lot of, like, spare bits with the Megatrack. Like, everything is, like, purely there. I think it was only on, like, one sprue board, too, which I thought was kind of crazy. My Death Dread is a Carnifex I took away from my brother who quit, and I put the Squigosaur named character on him as a rider of some Orky deck. Holy shit. Your Death Dread is a Carnifex. The Carnifex is a... The Carnifex is a Tyrannid, though. That's crazy. I will say, though, I have a Death Dread rolling around somewhere here, and I do have a lot of spare pieces from that. That's the other one that I have a lot of spare pieces for. Because I got the old Orc Combat Patrol, which is still good, by the way. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of, like, customization options for that. And in fact, I used one of those pretty recently, actually. Not pretty recently, but I can't put him on the turntable because he's doesn't. Yeah, but I have a Squig Hog Boy here who you can see I've basically just torn off a couple of the spare metal arms from the Death Dread, and I've given him like a fucking giant rocket launcher arm. There's so many pieces from like other sets here. Like he's got like the flamethrower. He's got like the flamethrower arm from the Death Dread. He's got like the rocket launcher arm also from the Death Dread. He's got this weird great. I need like a shoulder pad. So this is actually one of the heads of like a Stormboy rocket pack, which I didn't really end up using. And he's got like fucking another Death Dread arm, which is used around here. That's literally just like fucking like boot rocket launcher. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. What else do I have? I got this guy here. It's got a big laser cannon on his Squig. I also like that this Squig is like, it's got a wheel. Vroom vroom. Very cool kitbash, looks amazing. Thank you, Twitch.tv user, the Dino Custodian. I try my darndest, and I try my best. I can't do it with my hands, the little heart thing. Close enough. And see, that's what I love about painting orcs, is that you can really just slap all kinds of bits on them that you want, and it still looks like it vaguely makes sense. I feel like you don't really get that a lot with other armies. Like, Tyranids can only really be put together one way. Like, they're so, like, fleshy and, what do you call it? They're so, like, fleshy and bony and organic that, like, they're always built on sprues that, like, okay, this shoulder also has a neck and head piece attached to it, so, like, there's only really one way you can put it on. Although maybe I'm just not thinking creatively enough. Maybe I'm just throwing in the towel before I've even begun. Maybe I need to get good. Where'd you put my shade paint? Oh, here it is. Found it. Painting with gloss paint always makes me feel cool because it's discontinued, and I feel like I'm using something rare and forbidden. Even though it was probably discontinued because it is not very good. I still like the cool, like, shiny effect that it gives me, though. I'm just surprised that I was able to find, gloss shade paints. Because like they were discontinued, so I figured they would be like be taken out of circulation at some point. Apparently not. Apparently you can just find retailers that still sell them. Still trying to move old stock. I guess that makes sense. You can't like send it back to Games Workshop and get a refund for it. Games Workshop giving refunds? Not very likely, I think. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, because apparently the consistency between, like, old shade paints and new shade paints is, like, really different. Like, apparently people, like I heard that people, like, completely threw out their old shade paints after, like, the new formula came out. Because they were like, hey, this fucking sucks! It's goopy, it's loopy, and it's weird, and I don't like it. Oh shit, I gotta... This is the only thing that sort of stresses me out about shade paints, is that, like, I gotta get good coverage on all of, like, the little bits of the model before the paint dries, because otherwise I'll just end up, like, smearing the shade, and, like, that's not what anyone wants. Least of all me. Honestly, I was inspired by someone who took Arcana effects and had a mech boy use a controller. Nice! Holy shit. Holy shit. See, I've seen great kit bashes in my time, but, like, kit bashes that, like, merge whole armies together, that fucking rocks. Okay, Okay, fucked that up a little bit, but that should be fine. I mean, I guess I guess with things like the Gene Stealer cults, you can get some good kit bashes going on with some, like, fucked up mutant men. But yeah, I've always, like, the thing that sort of kept me away from the Tyranids is, the fact that they do seem, like, really difficult to customize and make your own. Which is sort of what I try and do, you know, when I sit down to paint. Like, I really want to put my own little swaz on the models that I paint, you know what I mean? So I feel like if there's an army that makes that difficult to do, it doesn't really appeal to me, it doesn't really call to me. It doesn't really call to me. But yeah, I do need to get back and, like, paint some of my Tyranids, because like I said, I got the Leviathan box, so I have a bunch of Tyranids rolling around that I just simply have not touched. And I should! Because they're really cool. I think the thing that's really stopping me is that, like, I painted one of the Tyranids from the Leviathan set. And I didn't really like how the paint job came out. And I guess that just shamed me so much that I stopped painting them for a while. But I actually went up and picked it up the other day and took a look at it. And I'm like, this is fine. This is okay. I'm being a whinger, I is. Let's see here. Let's see here. A friend of mine made a Chaos Crab tank, which I thought was very cool. Hell yes! Twitch.tv user I Heart Narcissism. I fucking love crab tanks in this house. I think the Chaos Crab tank is like a classic model, because I think I've seen, like, old pictures of that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? God, I can't fucking speak today. Turn the Tyranids into a single giant Tyranid. YouTube user John Warrior, that is a good idea. But also I like playing with them, so I want to make sure they're game ready, sort of thing. But yeah, so, like, most of my Tyranids are this kind of, like, I really like the sort of default color scheme that I gave them with the Thousand Suns blue instead of the Nagaroth Knight. But I feel like I kind of fucked up with this, like, with this guy here, because I thought to myself, ooh, why don't I make his gun, like, McCrag blue to make it, like, slightly different? And I don't super like how that color scheme came out. Like, from a distance, I think it looks fine, but I also, like, dry brushed a bit of red in there, which you can kind of see on the top there. And, like, I didn't... And look, I know it's one of those things. I know when it's one of those things. This is absolutely something that I would do. I know it's one of those things that only I care about and only I can see. But I care about it, and I can see it. That annoys me. But yeah, I think for the next ones I build, I'm just not going to dry brush the red up there. And to be honest, I could probably dry brush a bunch of white on top of that and fix it. Like, Nothing's unfixable. Fun fact, there was a small blurb in a codex that says orcs don't often have gene stealer problems because any they find are immediately exterminated. I mean, that sounds like something the orcs would do. You look a little bit weird? Get him! Honestly, the idea of an orc gene stealer kind of goes hard, though. Like, fucking... Just be like, hey, you look weird. Oh, but you can kill things really good. Let's follow this guy and do whatever he says. And the Tyranids come and they eat them. Yum, 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 yum. It's free lunch. There's nothing stopping you from making a neat aberrant brute with orc bits. Hell yes. I got a bunch. I think I got a bunch of like gene stealer. I have like a bunch of like random bits. Like I have a bits bag. Like my local store was just like, hey, you like kitbash and stuff, and also people recognize you from TikTok sometimes. Have all these like random bits that we just have lying around from like other sets that people have donated. And so I took a whole bunch, and I've been able to like kitbash a bunch of my models really coolly now. So thank you, my local Warhammer store, which people sometimes recognize me from the internet from. It's so tough being a niche internet micro-celebrity. I say with like 3 Twitch viewers or something. I make no illusions about what I am. I just hit a vibe, man. Just hit a vibe. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Okay, gonna put a little bit of null oil on his little metal hat here. Because I want him to be shiny and pretty. You're the coolest. Oh, thank you, Twitch.tv user, that Kate Orc mom. I try my best. Even if my best is just making silly little videos on the internet and hanging out and painting. I'm suddenly realizing that like multi-streaming from Twitch and YouTube at the same time means that anytime I respond to something, some nice thing that somebody says on Twitch, everybody on YouTube is going to think that I'm just like making shit up. Aw, YouTube user Ethan is the best 95. Thank you so much for the 10,000 bits. Everyone, aw, you think I'm the coolest? That really warms my heart. I can just make shit up. I can talk to the voices that nobody hears but me. That's my schizophrenic arc. Okay, got a little bit of null oil on his head, but that's fine, I think. He's probably got actual oil on his head from all the mechanical bits that he does. Okay, let me just get some fucking... Okay, I just need... Alright. I see the messages coming in chat, but I'm like freaking out because I've started putting a layer of like shade paint on somewhere. And it's like a big surface area, so I need to finish it before it dries so I can get optimal coverage. I need the coverage to be optimal! Ah! I'm also realizing that I still need to do his like faceplate, which I've just completely left off. But I'm glad I did, because I would have no idea how I would have painted his teeth if I didn't keep his grill off. Although when I put the teeth back on, it's probably going to be like, oh, it doesn't look as cool now. Oh well. Okay. Okay. He's gonna look really wet and like glossy for a little bit. but it's going to look really wet and glossy for a little bit, so I'm just going to leave that bit out there. Are you from Australia? YouTube user Judge Dredd, I am. That is my original home country. Viva l'Australia, as they say, clearly. Weird question, because you think mushrooms come in different colors. Would you think it'd be weird to have orcs that are gray, yellow, blue, or red? Ain't never seen purple orcs, though. Nice! Twitch.tv user, the Dino Custodian. Listen, I think that, like, orcs are traditionally green, but, like, you can paint them any color you want. You can paint them any color you want. Like, it's fucking fine. You know? Like, I've seen a lot of people, apparently, like, red orcs are a really common thing. Because, like, apparently, and I have no idea if this is true, I may have been fed misinformation on the internet, and knowing me, I probably was. But apparently, the guy who, like, originally created the orcs, originally, like, intended for them to be red. But, like, people didn't think that was the case, because a lot of his original sketches had, like, ketchup or, like, tomato sauce spilled on them, because he was just, like, doodling at the pub or something. And they thought, oh, that couldn't possibly mean they were intended to be red. They just spilled something on there. Let's make them green. And then turns out, after they were all made green, he was like, that's not what I wanted at all. Although now that I think about it, that story sounds highly unbelievable, and I feel like I'm lying. Even though I have no idea, and, like, this is a story that I was told in truth and confidence. It's true? Well, YouTube user John Warrior has assured me that it's true, so I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Delicious. You need to be optimal at all times. Okay. Truth or no, orcs can be or do anything if they believe enough. That's why we love them. And it's also a lesson that we can take away in real life. If we believe in ourselves, we can do anything. If an orc can survive in space purely because he believes he can, you can get that job at the local coffee shop. You can learn that new skill that you've been putting off. You can go to the moon. I don't know why that was my last go-to. That was. Who wants to go to the fucking moon? It's just rocks up there. It's just fucking rocks up there, man. Ain't no shit for no one up there. Fucking love this little speedy base. Like, look at it, look at it, look at it go. Best, like, 20 bucks I ever spent, honestly. Now we just need to buy a fucking ring light that doesn't always pop in and out of existence. Good lord. I'm not allowed back on the moon after the incident. Horrifying! Moon's haunted. Whee! Somebody on TikTok was asking me, like, how fast I can make the base go, and unfortunately, that's kind of it. Which is very upsetting. I gotta get in there and, like, overcharge it so it can just go... The Sisters of Silence headquarters is on the moon too, another fun fact. I think I knew that! I think they discussed that in a book I read. Because that's right, I read books. Only when they're about the cool space warriors I like, though. I should read actual literature, but I'm not going to. I simply refuse to be enlightened. Okay, where is my Seraphim Sepia? That's Berserker Bloodshade. That's not what I want. Seraphim Sepia is a goated shade paint, by the way. Like, I have very strong opinions on things that do not matter. Like the specific paints that I use for fucking this shit. But Seraphim Sepia is literally like the best paint that I've ever used in my entire life. The best shade paint, rather. Fucking love it. Wouldn't be anywhere without this thing. 40k lore is literature. Technically, that's correct. Technically. I just spilled 3/4 of my bottle the other night. Darth Malignus, I'm so sorry to hear that, actually. Like, genuinely. I know that sounds like a sarcastic joke because I sound like a sarcastic prick, but I genuinely feel sorry that that happened to you. Because I've had that happen to me. You know what? I've spilled... Like, I did not only spill the Nuln Oil that I had at my disposal, I spilled the Nuln Oil gloss. Which is a much bigger deal because I don't make this anymore. This is a discontinued shade paint. This is all that's left. This is my spice. I thought about using washes, but either they be too expensive or too little, or I'm worried that I'm going to use them wrong. But see, I think that's the beauty with, like, shade paints, is you really just, like, lather them on there, and then you're kind of good. Especially, and I think they actually, like, changed their, Games Workshop, like, changed their formula for shade paints very recently. So, the shade paints that they have now are actually, like, really, really fucking good. Like... If you look really closely, because the gloss paints are like an older paint, you can sort of see on his shoulder pad here, there's a few little bits of like, well, you sort of can't see it because like the camera's like reflecting the light, but there's sort of like some little patches which are like slightly darker than the others, sort of thing. And old paints kind of do that. They end up with these like really like splotchy sections if you don't like rub them around or like move them into the grooves properly, or if you're trying to like use shade paints on like a large surface like the shoulder pad here. But I feel like for the orcs, I kind of like that. Like it kind of like I feel like for the orcs it kind of fits, you know what I mean? Like I don't mind that the shade paint is sort of blotchy. Like, it sort of looks like patches of rust, and it looks like intentional weathering that I meant to do. Shiny, shiny. And yeah, after I put a whole bunch of, like, dry brushing on the top of it as well, it'll, like, even out. Like, it just has, like, a lot of the sheen now, because I'm using a gloss paint, and because I got a light beaming directly at it. But after I do some dry brushing to really, like, bring out some of these details, then it'll become a lot more mellow. It'll chill out, man. That was a weird thing that I did. Spilling Nuln Oil is a rite of passage, and baby, I'm a real... true blue rootin' tootin' Warhammer man now. I spilled that Nuln Oil and I regret it every day. Okay, let's see. What am I gonna do for, like, the claws here? I'm thinking... Because obviously the claws are gonna be, like, a key part of his design. So I really want to make sure I do them right. You know, and also they're kind of like my intent for them is to kind of be like bone texture rather than the like standard steel that they are by default. So I'm thinking maybe I should I buy like... I'm thinking I might invest in, like, another shade paint, because I think currently the best shade paint that I have for these bone claws is my Seraphim Sepia, which is, like, a yellow shade paint. But, like... Maybe if I go for, like, a light... Like a lighter one, like almost like a white shade paint. I think they do that. Well, for the time being, I can still put Seraphim Sepia on... couple of other parts of the model, like its loincloth and like the base. Or do I put... No, for the base I might do like a more standard Agrax Earthshade, actually, now that I think about it. But for his Loino Boino wiener holder, gotta like really... it's one of those things where I like really have to like cram the brush in there, and I'm just terrified that I'm gonna like put shade paint on something I'm not supposed to. But I suppose at the end of the day, nothing's unfixable. Then I'm just really, like, slurping this shade paint on, because it's like a cloth texture that its loincloth's got, so it's... Of course it's got a cloth texture, it's cloth. It's not even texture, it's just like... I just need to make sure I get the shade paints in the grooves, that's all I needed to say. And I took way too long to say it. And I said it weirdly, because I'm me, and I say everything weirdly. But this time it wasn't on purpose. Oop, that's not what I wanted. What the fuck am I listening to? Yeah, come this far. Hold on, I just need it. Like, it's one of those times where I'm like, I've got a large space of coverage I need to get to, and I'm just like, fuck. Gotta get the coverage right. Because when it dries, like, I'm fucked. Okay, that should be good. That should be good. Actually, no, I need to get like another glob of shade, like right in the grundle there. Right in his Gazghoulies. There it is. There's the dick joke I was looking for. There we go. Non-metallic metal versus actual metallic paint? I like metallic paint just because it's like quick and easy. I've never tried like I've never like truly tried to do like non-metallic painting. I kind of got a similar effect with another model that I did, who I don't think is on my desk anymore because I cleaned up for once in my fucking life. But I had like... No, he should be here. I just used him earlier. Now, here he is. He's hiding. Where is he? Yeah, so for my... So some people said that I kind of did a non-metallic paint for my Terminator Captain here with a lot of the like yellows and golds and stuff like that. But that wasn't really intentional. It was just kind of like yellow with a little bit of like gold griffin highlighting sort of thing. I wanted it to be a little bit more matte, but it ended up being like a little bit more shinier just because I used a metallic paint here and there. And no! What? Look at that! His fucking halo crown, it's busted! I have no idea when that happened. That's so sad, actually. I'm really upset about that. Fuck. That's awful. God damn it. That's my glue. I need to, like, do emergency surgery on this fucking captain. I usually use silver in all of my metallic mixes. I like my reflective blades, a dazzling demon flesh. Hell yes! The Dino Custodian. I feel like Lead Belcher is always, like, a classic color, though. Like, whatever you think about how you want to, like, paint your minis or, like, do... However you want to paint your minis or, like, go about painting process, I feel like everybody can agree that, like, Lead Belcher fucking slaps. All my homies love Lead Belcher. Rip to the busted crown. Well, looks like I'm not taking this guy to any out-of-interstate tournaments anytime soon. I wasn't taking him to any tournaments to begin with. What am I talking about? Hey. I'm gonna make you better. I'm gonna fix you. Oh, no. I'm not doing it. Not that strange. His broken crown. It's almost poetic, in a way. There's a pretty big splotch right in the feels. I'm never going to financially recover from this. Well, I say that every time I pick up a new set of Warhammer anyway, and it all seems to work out fine in the end for me. Right. Also, if you want bone color, you could do what I do. Mix a yellow with a sea spray and white-ish. I am so terrified of mixing paints together. Because, like, I like the fact that all of the paints are, like, in their own individual pots, so I know what color they're gonna get. I'm terrified of mixing paints because if I mix it wrong and I get the wrong color, it's entirely my fault. Okay, is this... I'm just gonna put a little bit of Nuln oil on this section here, just to make it more shimmery, shiny, and metallic. Yeah. Alright, in terms of the bone color, I think I'm gonna... I think for that, like, I wanna do it right. So I'm probably gonna look up a little bit of a tutorial on how to do that. So I'm gonna leave the bone... I'm gonna leave the boning for another day. And considering I think I've been at this for like 2 hours now, I think that's probably a good time to call it for the night. But yeah, I finally got to shade my Gaz! Hell yeah! I'm very excited to continue working on him. He's almost done, and I'm gonna make him more done when I'm done with him. The sentence worked, okay? So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. It's been a pleasure hanging out and chatting, as it so often is. And yeah, have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can catch up with all of my shit. Get a little QR code you can scan to find all my other social media. And I hope you have a wonderful evening, because I had a wonderful time chatting and painting here with you. You specifically. Don't forget it. Get out of here. Many people have been quick to tell me that my custom Space Marine lore is quote-unquote non-canonical or simply too silly. With that in mind, I've decided to make a pivot to a faction